Alright, me more chair na me more kwaba from brand Nnawotwe Yi so Adom TV. If you have a channel home so Sempa 94.7 FM. Nnawotwe Yi nsem bebre na na si. Onim say fi Nnawotwe Yi me dey bay one major issue about you know the issue at that Ghana for Biano the Reverend Team for joining Semoko Kanye together with the minority and the NIB for a more attempt to get him picked up from the residence. About a lot of issues I think of for Nnawotwe Yi the NIB echo Reverend Team for Joe Fees and Kaomo Kwakofano, but the minority air massive or it wasn't right, so I'm papa NIB no if you echo ye bisa say sa soup and NIB for a year on Reverend Team no na da ne kwan mu ana set say emra no there next year and ye beboa or to me at 10 7 6 Nnawotwe Yi nso yan dan ansori antasampa na ye tie ne say boko a ye nyina ye bompa ye sa asomdwe beba no ntawantawa na mane muso kakra enam say enkomo ye de ne kire say afa bia accuse police for say omo edi emaichi eko edwam bia ni so omoko eno nti ede ntawantawa eba mebunu ntem ene security for ntem enam so no nipa ba kwa hwere ne nkwa ema security service nkofo mienu nso eprepra eyade a ene yedi nkomo yi Inspector General Police IGP ewo eye boko a ohwe ne nkofo adi nkomo kwan ye fa so a ye be ma asomdwe aba ene ye ba behwe kwan ye fa so a ye betumi anya eye anoyie ede masa boko ntawantawa no president eden nsema atodwa say odina hodin etai eye otumfo o say tutu committee na chi no motumi ede eye ahobrase ana ahobreo ede aba eye boko nsensem no na ye behwe another issue eye the aban say so much foreign na bia in galamsey ya on be deport no ye bisa say e also maintain sa policy no ana it say we ene nsem nyensa bia out of way nsem bebre akoso this week no ye hwe na adwendwen ho e wo Nnawotwe dwumade so na ne omo amene on be dwumai ora Daniel Kwesi Ashiama ono your former MP for Buem already obabe cancer e studio ha ye need that kwan say ora Kwesi Botwe private legal practitioner or a member of the MPP's communications team obabe cancer and a Dr. Sadiq Edutrim fellow West Africa Center for Counter-Terrorism Extremism on obabe cancer near to me at the ho juma your friend Samuel Kojo Brace me dey juma ho chiame on behalf of my production team and the camera the directors sound and obiano me mo akwaba na madase so me kwan say me ka ho me da ne pa e te say ye twen ho tew na yaba eba ye be don sem no asuko on enter Memo akwaba bio enfambra Nnawotwe dwumade so it's 7 minutes after 8 a.m. Memo akwaba bio so afi na wode wafidi na dato ha Adom TV so uti your radio higher Sempa 94.7 FM. Well, mema mabedwani wabe cancel studio ha kwaba Daniel Kwesi Ashiama former MP for Buem honorable Biaboko. Where? But what is life after Parliament?
Oh, it's all management and strategy.
Management and strategy.
Yes.
Okay.
You go right. Strategy or strategizing and managing.
Okay.
Yourself, your family. That is what takes you. But as a one yes, also. Yes, you must look beyond the aisle. Yes. So.
But consultancy near the back there. And now for Parliament, there's nothing for you.
Well, the consultancy but I'm not focused so much on that.
Okay.
Ejuma susu unya obiama ejuma unless you do your own business.
Okay.
And so those are some of the things that we are doing. Small farming, small business. Then we are managing things.
Okay.
And then more media work. and first camera.
Okay. Mame mfa onko boko.
Yeah.
na yen konkoshe ni esi oboko fi se ye da sorry na Nnawotwe we mu na na ekoso oboko no enya de na ye nyina ye ni da kwan se ebeba so ama President John Dramani Mahama eno a odi nkomo ewo the army abranomo graduate some officers no odi nsem etudwa about boko ye be kone akwakohwe eno ye wie na ye ba ana ye de IGP nso wo boko sisi eno a no odi nsem bebre tudwa ye de no so beto aso na afede ye ba na ya hwe nsem no se ni esitia yen konkohwe for a President John Dramani Mahama
Yini John Dramani Mahama ama echemu a asra dom no sisi wo ye nema pii ehwese obebo oman hu ban na asumdwe aba oman yi mu chemu se
The Ghana Armed Forces is engaged in several theaters to maintain peace and security in our nation. One major flashpoint continues to be the Boko area. Only 2 days ago, an incident in a marketplace triggered an unfortunate loss of lives and criminal vandalism of property. I wish to emphasize that nobody gains from this situation of conflict and insecurity. We have triggered the Otumfo mediation process, which saw all stakeholders participate in discussions in Kumasi on a roadmap towards peace. I'm assured by the Asantehene that the process will resume next week when he returns from his brief visit abroad.
Nwechi ochere se hu be hia sa tentere ne ne akontebu mapa ebekoso na na aban no ebehwe na bonefo sem ekoso wo man mu nyina no abra no ase.
The complementary roles of individuals, organizations, and the government in national security is of critical importance. I urge our citizens in discharging this complementary duty of helping to safeguard our security not to behave like the shepherd boy in the famous fable who cried, "Wolf, wolf," when there was no wolf. If we behave like that boy, either for partisan or parochial interest, we distract the attention of our security services from focusing on their critical job of keeping us safe. Let us support our security services and the Ghana Armed Forces with information that is useful and intelligence that is helpful, that will advance their work rather than retrogress it.
Edom kumansem trenchie mu a wonum ye wo emrashibedwe and a ranking member waka defense and interior ho Reverend John Intim Fodwo edito aban ni
the majority leader reflects the increasing volatility of the situation and the level of frustration among sections of the youth. The failure to de-escalate tensions leads to a cycle of reprisals, which, if unchecked, will further entrench insecurity in the area. The continued insecurity is gradually crippling essential services, worsening the plight of residents, and deepening the humanitarian crisis. The government must demonstrate greater urgency and decisiveness. The deteriorating situation in Boko is a national concern, and the government must take immediate action to prevent further escalation.
And wechi edom kuma no hu ne se posi dom sahene Christian tete yehuno akwakoka seba ne se womo efa nipa e wo bamboko ni mu a wo behwe na mabu no firi Boko no waje womo kane eno ena edom kuma no hu ne se posi adwuma ko ni sisa agina ye ne a ena na kyese amo akora.
But what I am reading from social media, if that is true, then the IGP's visit is rather going to create more problems than good. To say that lay down your tools, and that if you lay down your tools, we will consider you for recruitment. It's something that one cannot understand. But for me, it will be absurd to recruit people into the security services based on the fact that they've laid down their tools. What it means, that if you do not even meet the criteria to be recruited into the security service, you will be recruited into the security service because you have laid down your tool. That obviously is not the way to go.
Posi dom sahene Christian tete yehuno enra yawo ena wo ba na ekọ Boko atifido epo yemantemu a one bambuku awodo ena ekọ ye ni nyina ene se mabunu ne aposifo bi edisie ni ewo hono ma enam so ema mabunu ba ko awu ye binum so eprepra ebra posi dom sahene e kasa no wo de adesreto mabunu yo anim.
Guilty consciousness
Those who have retired, who have worked in any of these security services, have all distinguished themselves. And so we are appealing to you to lay down your arms, have confidence in us, so that together we'll work and that will bring peace to this area.
Richard Ayabela ena ejina boko na aba anemu ekasaye na wo kyerɛkyerɛ de esi saada no ene kwan a Hussein Idrisu efa so kyerɛ ne nkwa pa Hussein ba ko ne afoforo nso eprepraye.
So Hussein, who went just to even calm down the youth, was shot at the leg. The man fell down. And the police officer got to the place and shot his stomach and his chest and killed him. So what we are simply saying is that peace is good, but justice is important.
Onyine mu no po Musa enso ejina mabunu no anemu ekasaye a de wo hwa ne sa tenterene ene mra esefata no osifo ede beye.
Sends a request from the Inspector General of Police. One, the item number 1, we are saying that we are calling for justice and enforcement of the law. Please, these are the things that we are calling for.
Enti ensemno ewo boko se ne ebi esitie ene no na answer na meko honorable ho no memfa ntudwa se ene yebo 3 p.m. on Adom TV nyamia ya Adom obetumi ahwe the Ghana Premier League live ewo Adom TV ene 3 p.m. no Accra Lions ene Basake Holy Stars ene ebo obehwe ni nyina no live on Adom TV nti yebo 2:30 afa TV na tena yebo 3 abehun se match no twa ne ho ho sanso na ochena 3 p.m. Vision FC and Heart of Oak ebebo na no nso beba live on Adom TV but modern na enjoy the premiership on Adom TV. Okay, Honorable Daniel Kwesi Ashama yenhwe boko. I mean it's been age long dispute daho. We've not still on the but this week DAC saying you've been in Parliament. I'm sure you've had discussions about Boko and the idea. This week out that's why I would tell sorry be on what you saying.
Yo, Mina, that was said the kind acha a chef for me. We do my phone in our Mubua, Ghana phone, Manoni phone in a share or TV so. And the medical I can say, media, Miss yenyanuma omo boku ne potem ne nyina se omoma adwobrɛw enye ejuma misro moara emrantie ne babawa indra menya kwan etie my friend say Honorable Tuviga.
Okay.
Tuviga on offer ho and also from the royal
Stephen Atubiga. Okay.
That's right. Onyanya, but he was trying to contest as a presidential some time ago. Yeah. Now, o church sema mama say onu na mama chi asem muye ndra.
Okay.
Odi ka church say onu oye ni papa ekusase ni. Ni mami ye mampusi ni. Eno no ankasa awari konkomani.
Okay.
Nti won say area ho ni nyina no. Ni moja o bibia. O si na edi we ni nyina eba ni se. Akoba ti se anya ti se akoba se ahimfo mienu ana ahini mienu ewo one traditional area.
Yeah.
Na baako first be kai na nado time almost one qualify yi no afri ho ko election time no yesa di no abesi so a offer man process side. Okay, and boku na ba. It's okay, say it is there. Ahini mienu ana yeah, ahini mienu ntimi na one traditional area. But number any say market baby omu di dwan. Na omu ayen say omu di bomb area say man process phone. omo nkosa marketing nti ekobasa no yeah ekobasa no na obe say mamprusifoɔ entumi emma boku market bibia kusasefoɔ no ewo nti akoba sɛ edwa nkoso a ekomo aba you get right edwa nkoso that side na ekomo aba because they are prevented and now pay the boku na aba sema directives are man mo emma ho because ahini menu ntumi enni one traditional area so nti akoba sa ase edwa nkoso ekomo aba ho no na police for ama na mu guide those from Mamprosi area say Omumbra market.
But there's a central market Obia.
Yes, but they say bokuna ba kase say na atubiga kayo asemo kana me kase say that enclave no belongs to Bokunaba. Baby a market no ewo. So they are preventing or they've asked the directive say ma we kusasi for no emba ho. Enti police for eco guide omudi ko market ho no enu na afa asem no e dia ba ena mrante no asoro se e ba mu se na ye ohimpom boku na ba ama mra se ma omu emba this side of the market amuko guide omu e di baye ntwumtwum ena etu osuye no first one ewo abrante ni nine no ena police no akosho the second one. That is where my problem is. Sanka first one kwa ebia ni nine oh say a court cry betimi aka say a mistake because me dem nya kan but I can force obi fum kuma yemfum dwa enye sa but me pa no da fom was akututu second time no enu na dey reprisals no ba ya police commander ni fie ni police station nyama no as almost saying. But let us look at it critically. Yes, wrong. Me ye ndra catcher say this year that Boku conflict enya 50 years. So you can imagine 50 good years.
Ghana after independence is 68, right?
Yes.
It's 18 years after getting independence and I started.
Nti ube say ye was school susu ye geography. When say Boku Dasrowa is a marketing center. Togo, Burkina. Enti ube say Boku IGD say bikafra enyen conflict inti marketing center, trading center eboa. Anka bibia ye dru endem. Ese say ye develop market no to the extent say send international market say no ye raising the level no. Na yesusu yenya emfaso bi free proper trading mo mbrantie ne mbaba wa mo wo sampotem any from Burkina any Togo ni nyina no they should benefit from that. That is what we are calling for right now. But ekobase say no de bia esese yemfaska emfanko enye buem sika na odi beko ho ba Boku constituency ni omu municipality no omu sika instead of focusing or using that money for development. Now, to what? To stop this conflict.
Say you cry Brosa constituency and say yes, share police for no soldier for that.
Yes. Oh, every constituency is Ghana sika.
Yeah.
Do you get it right? But specifically in Kanyama, say you find your home. You find. Say you be develop marketing. You to me any. And so that is my concern. And I am appealing to all the youth and the elders and the chiefs. Send them on Penyika and Susun. Otiko Kosoba. Yes, sir. Or no, the stakeholders in this particular conflict. Because baby are gonna jina and necessary no. Unemployment had also. But every part of this country should be able to employ the youth. If we are able to put our businesses over there. Say government workers are general free ho. Police for crowd so mu here mu wo krom ho bio. Do you get it right? Teacher for ako. One of banks for ako. So what are we doing to ourselves?
Okay.
So these are some of the things that essential media eche power na me sra pa cho say omuma asomtwe emra ho na yentina as Ghanaians people should do business and make money. We should not be running away. Say mazu so adwane afro ako mema nkwa ne beka
but oka unemployment do you then agree with the IGP say ebia ye mom adwuma in the security services a bit me aboa to solve age long conflict?
Yeah, but video boss is saying audio meeting no man say IGP akasa asemo o ka meeting but na meeting no man say akasa but say
in the video one or can say ombefa Boko youth in the security services into
Remember why by now meeting yes say no man say akasa.
Okay, but don't you think say it could be a way out?
Oh, employment. I don't think I'm ranting no queue. There be say omoko soldier ni police. It's just about the employment too.
Okay.
Because at least at the end of the month you get some salary. So it is also part of it. And as a developing market in Ususua, businessmen will go there, more banks will go there. Okay. Employment, even if it is farming, animal rearing, poultry farming, it's also employment. Poultry farm, you employ the youth around. So we look at all these facets and then looking at just because of this conflict to reduce the unemployment. Because you not take maybe 2 days or 1 whole day to come down to Accra again. Because that is what we are trying for. Because wherever there is land, there is job. But you have to turn it around to make it a payable job. That is why we are talking.
Interesting. My bigger for me, so about cancer. Kwesi Botwe, a private legal practitioner, a member of the MPP's National Communications Team. Kwesi, we have a code here. Great. Dr. Sadiq Erichum, a fellow West Africa Center for Counter Extremism. Doc, we have a code. Doc, member, na meno yen share this issue. Boko. Honorable Mayor, 50 years in the making. The latest Moabe. A company able to me over the years into me winning. Just brief on that and let us know how we can solve it.
Okay, Madam I'm say they are honorable canonity, and I think it's the right thing to do. One say okwa kodu baby you look beyond econo. Now one of the things I say yema critical na bisa na yuhu and say interest a woman and the when you come to conflict studies now or conflict resolution analysis as I say nipa no okay as I say nipa no ne interests and ne needs we and free honoma you also look at their behaviors and their attitude towards adena omo na if you know what's nasi no be so say yenya sa opepano na yantena say mbisa omumu yi a nya say yenim history no but I say along the way no enyoma ni bi ya distorting no nti say ye call the history of the issue na efi ye bisa ekumienu no dia omo hwehwe say wonhu dia obia ehwehwe a na wa per middle ground na wa settle issue no that is the best way and intina
but say how do you get a middle ground?
Oh, of course. I mean, you say any tekrama kokra mo shenu. Until you use the same way to do it. Say a koba say obi compromise ya in the process no obi hu how obi compromise eno kwan obi fa so a obi no. I don't want to run ahead of a otumfo because in particular, I have a strong belief that together with other people, we'll find solution to this one. But Senator Honorable Kan, as I say, Yema Mbebu no who say omodachi anything. Oshe some of the statistics I omoya. Last night I say oshe the lifespan in northern part in those say omunyiche pa. I mean omunyiche. So if we are baby sisia now say 25 years na nneɛma ya yet say be hospitals, banks, school, I won't count say yes, it means you have another 25 or 30 years of your life. So at the end of waste. By the time Obenya 50 to 60, no, you will still see say you have not seen much of development in the area. A bit me continue. I'm a sad no more year who a bed a becoso. Let us know your best your politicians. See issue nankasane far by the chieftaincy, but Sisiano a ethno-political issue. There's a political chess around the issue. Say afenunu mienu ni na omo abemu and that's omaba abemu. Of course, I mean we have an MP within the MPs within and around that area. So
yeah.
So
and say crowd by they attempted to, according to report, omo attempted to peja to Mahamaya Gadaimo police for Eleno, but they were able to set a jaka crowd to be do is a pusiga MP and no nyina na share ba part of it.
Inti say afenu ni nyina ebe hu say sa bebibi ebedu no then na yankasa kwa so yehwehwe I think say ye betimi solve this issue no because minia say o corner of pa say we room all the 5 northern regions pa na ubisa won say assassini sa assassi we the medin ma can happen a bit me feed say yesu adwuma a bit me feed even West Africa. Yes, offer free say savannah offer free upper west oba Bolga which is upper east obe rumba tamale offense north east she asasi yantam seneti say ka say ye mechanized agriculture e wo krom hanoma you think we cannot feed ourselves and even feed the rest of the countries around us? We can't do that. But koba say nyoma ba kumienu bi say you know esisi a we say ebo nkofo hu. But sometimes we are na take the issues out of context kakra. Say BBC oboko a on say na aka northern region. Inti ekoema na koba to say the whole of the northern region is on fire. And I'm talking about the 5 northern regions like it's on fire. Inti esisi you to me semu kakra because my workings are edeme bani now. I think say the northern enclave no one of the peaceful areas are ube to me I then stay omo ye ejuma kwa omo pe say omo betena because one we share the hustle and Accra no ade no those areas no you don't see those kind of things economic wise, transportation wise, and those kind of area here to me develop it but say 1 or 2 places be yes sir. Now, if you know, sometimes they are so entrenched, say we are down for crown, and I extended adeno to that individual. No, Emma adeno ne sono, na yesona. Inti yebeshe says, I be able to let's look beyond. Penifossi, why you be a ye? Why you be a ye? So now let's look beyond what really we are looking for.
All right, inti I know ye boko and koma yedi. Memfa kwesi botwemere kwesi oh they are a young man. I think you na yet here na because you know probably the youngest. Assembly na officer wa fefo mo boko also mote now mote say enough should be enough.
That's an opinion mefa kunya so achia na machia honorable ne security expert. I'm following pa I think say Boko crisis, you know, so no honorable sika, you know, age old problem. A breakthrough say I will see it to me a lasting solution to the Boko crisis because Boko no a very important community. We share, I mean, a geographical plan as a nation. Inti say ama ye ni anko ho a ama ye twa ho ehie ne enim de ekoso ho. Ahwe ye ombetimi you see the course of Bokodokra as a catalyst to even penetrate into our country. Until idea was say, Yinia and money high. President Mahama cast a new video. No, Emmy Deso cast as and said nobody benefits from the conflict. Conflict in idea, say or mine. And you do be a home for there is no political gain to it. Intin yes, sir. Say, if you anime or Bokono moment, but I am happy, sir. The tool for mediation process under the previous government, and at least parties agreed to be present at the mediation. We share first a couple of meetings and in the mediation process, the agreement by the parties to mediate is a critical step, I mean, in resolving the issue. Because the parties, then it means the mediation itself cannot even take place in the first instance. Once parties not TSS or mediating, which means the parties themselves want a solution to the problem. Yes, Rome, say, Omoma, Adjubre, Emba. Because issues now sometimes in the day to kwanene kumba just an honorable narrative issues now yeah largely no avoidable I say I mean parties decided to reach a mutually beneficial compromise a bit mabwa ama the lasting solution about to the Boko conflict because in Tokwane of course there was economic impact as well. Despite say what security implications, maybe you see our buying sika, maybe on common basic government hospital and agenda 111 amaboko no. So as can say here the command military, national security, police, said the your mobile restore camp, CKB and KB immediacy, maybe a recreational center, and I said be a the entire community, secondary school and Abibino. They said that money will be used, say they best settle, in Tokwania the idea cost in TS Rome, for macho. Say Boko Dayakuma so because Boko na a trading community, a trading hub Omoma Adjubra Emba, and especially the youth na amongst binem. Sometimes they are not youth in the photo. We want more unkofubina show mukutupa for their own parochial interests. But the youth should know say this country belongs to them. This country belongs to the youth. In the next few years, no, Omono be take over Boko. The next few years, the next 20, 15 years, he may not have the strength to contest again. They will need a new young person within the Boko enclave. Until you yes, sir, Moma Adjubre Emba. It's 50 years ago now, your papa no intimacy anwa, and then destiny nation and same say, you better mass crisis here, because me a hard dream, but I am confident, say, senior security expert kind say, Otum for Abemuno. We are confident say Otum forward. In fact, Wayebida Intino, we are confident say he will bring the two parties to a mutually beneficial compromise. A moment to meet each other halfway. Okay. Na ya hena itimia solve issues, Yeah.
Yeah, the Jumano FF for money, so can you do that trick like the IGP stated yesterday?
You see, I do not think say in this circumstance in Tokwa Achesan we need a trick to solve it. I feel that we need a mutually, beneficial compromise by the parties. A long-lasting, a year parties near better more as I say forever and ever. Because you man no cry here, no cry bit my escalate issues. Say, because say underlying issues near chieftaincy and tribal issues. Come because say na oma we mu three no ama ye two. No cry bit my escalate issues, let us manage it very carefully so that in finding solutions to the issues, you could depend, on differences. Let us find a lasting solution. Until we have problem here, then our person also here we will solve problem here. Then I mean, let them meet each other halfway. Hear how we can, reach a. When they are all about compromise. That's what I'm saying. Say, I am happy. Say, parties in the first place they agree. Say, which means they are willing to settle their scores. Hear how I bit to compromise and to settle, because if the leaders decide and leaders they reach a consensus or say, okay, you do too far, the followers will definitely follow. Because market clash here see you a protesting because omohene ashem that say my way cross on basi and we are cross basi, so they had to respond. Yeah. So if you get the leaders and the figureheads involved, say one can say one can say reach a compromise. I'm sure say a bit mabwa other than employment. And so munya intiasiana and tokwani ebane then we can look at the employment. Okay. Like Honorable said, Boko na a business hub. So sure say trade ministry ne and the idea can partner. So nebeya nyoma ashre omuni and encourage we can still revive the community to still make it a business hub that it is.
Okay. All right, that's it. My starting few Dr. Sadiq Eritrium. Say what you saying in some AC corner I mean, trying to rein in the youth, you know, and the presence of the IGP in the area, Wakase, and no drew on, there were a lot of placards and youth and air call Kasafa, the security services. So say, so be security service personnel be be name what the peace in Bokwa, Moma Yenti, yet here. I mean, what your kind of summary say there'll be some transfers. Sana was ebano.
Yo, Madasi, I'm say kakra American say there are about a year citizens and police confrontations.
And this is because on Wednesday or Thursday, the regional minister Adom TV just said there's a break in trust between the residents and the security services.
In fact, offer pardon me, but offer the 5 northern regions any issues or more any police now, it's largely on mistrust.
Okay.
I'm saying recently we did some study about community policing.
Okay.
And we share trend now. But the reverse of that trend now is there's also lack of education, awareness creation, and sensitization about some common laws within police for Ejuma. One example in Wali yene omokasai as ye no. Then one was like, and now we are there. You didn't call police station. You didn't call police station now. Within 2 hours, nipa kuna sanso aba community ni mu. I didn't know say mama nipa neba community because omu nim say ade na nipa na aye no. To the sense of so ohun e be ya de na tum from there no e be na or court na say e be waka dem and they should do something about it. Now the process of bail, that understanding is not there. Okay. So the shortfall is that now I'll say ye chechrom say ebi obi ekodi bone na wachi no anase yakochi ne de na aba no sa nipa no so wo fa hu di say within 48 hours no ye ntumi inkipu ni beyond that nti say ye man bail e be man bail na mmom na asem na nkasa de ye mfento enchen ye.
Okay.
Nti there are some common issues here education. Nti say IGP no taking it up, and that's why I say community policing no boa more. Because you know we free combat approach. Now what only timemfone dinkita ho. Only omo dinkita ho a obehu omo ha na only omo edinsa wo so na if you must solve issues no together. And no be build more transfers normal in our system, but you see we are weaponizing transfers now. Okay. Nti yes ano a ema nimpa no kra no say say odi no ko baby bia wo hia ne expertise e wo baby fufuro a obama na feel say wo punish no. Okay. Yes ano na dream no psychological no or ye na adwuma no kra ehun enhye dan ye de ehun enti. Nti mama yen weaponize transfer in the police service especially. Eba say ye deal with issues of offense boku issues ni I don't know, but if you find out say ebi anipa ba ku mienu bi ebi omo ni ebi omo ye no and also emboa there, then you can equally transfer. But I don't believe say I mean outwardly no de bia ye can as if say, and it is one of the concerns if generally even in the police service is one of the concerns about transfers like oma weaponize ya de no nti wo ha no say wo ya de na say obi kwa no ensure say the right thing must be done pay, then they have to transfer you and throw you somewhere. I don't think it is the right approach.
Okay. I don't know, so we will be our person to swan and coordinate.
Yeah, in such situations, you know, we use a lot of tools to handle them. Well, transfer could be one of them. Okay. Number 2, say police for Akufa or guide the other people to the market. What should they have done? And he said, because they are security people sent by the government. Sana motu nkamu di ko bokuna abaho. Mefie. Okay. Akapanu chese, ye de yes mafo NS hasrafo edi magana. Ye bom mienu nyina ho ban. Se na niama se kon ye pamocho. Moma na omumbra. So mukase no a you escalate to your regional commander. So man ti onu so you escalate to the what IGP. So man no man penyankasano. Na boom, because every human being is a human being. Every Ghanaian is a Ghanaian. So such tools no ena SSM press say na omo ako gado mu the come market no so no. That one no enu can call for a what transfer in the sense say sa nipa no a omo ako guide ye nua no the come market ho no. The youth of the area omo san ho omo a so omo no mu yesa. It could also lead to another thing, but not like not always transfer. That will not help. But as Sema Abbas say, to send him power to say, you can't leave him there. As a some free hokra, as a some free area ho. Na ana that badge no, free ho. IGP Pacho, then another badge, Abba, to plead with all sides. Calm tempest. So I think if we manage it that way, no, a bebwa.
But William, I mean, just a second. Even with that, when say in operational terms, your rotation.
Yeah. Rotation usually be transferred by rotation.
You can use those technical words. Say first day UN operations and say 6 months. By the in 1 year. Because what's now to a certain point, boredom will even set in. Minimobia in Congo, our headquarters are no more. Or say, a honeyneswa. And you see, we share senior persons also will pay compliment. And in a day, we bet me share ni 20 times, and you at all times you have to. And so it was like Abba. You saw them we then so they themselves they were even fed up. Until we can use that rotational approach now. Yeah, they assess on didn't want to.
All right, it's 46 after 8 a.m. Because minimum say be also.
The mechanics. I mean, I'm sure the interior minister so transfers idea or implement this because me say Galamsey issues no say
but that was even
police
bad.
Commanders or Machawa Galamsey site in you or Monaye de because of familiarity near the idea. You know, me I'm not a police officer and I'm not a security expert, but I think say security agencies no need intelligence or mapping solutions or media mitigate risk future clashes now if Omotion as a police for be a compromise that they should change them. But if Omotion not a police for so no, because they are doing the right thing, some people don't like them, and so they should find a way to. When sometimes it's even about massaging egos. Oh, you're pamacho. You be ana, so you're police officer. Oh yeah, what I say. Oh yeah, now oh buying na baby. Sometimes you can even talk to them. Oh yeah, when you momuko di jawa higher pamacho. Sometimes let's try to also explore. But this comes to the point say. In conflict resolution, saying we need police officers who understand the concept of conflict resolution. So they can understand the psyche and the psychology of Nkrofona Omunyo Mudili. Say these are not normal, people. These are agitated people. So how do we even meet them, halfway near the idea? So maybe
a lawyer, bro, for no
IGP and consider say or organize some training specifically for police officers handling, some of these flashpoints and send a who send your mobile manage issues this year because police officers they can be my escalate issues, Until you share quite a bit my first one. I mean, police officers, so bit
in fact, to add to lawyers on, I would say just about 3 weeks ago, we were in the 5 northern regions, and this was under the National Peace Council with CRS, and we had a training for a number of them on what we call responsibility to protect. It is one of the framework when it comes to the UN operational framework, so that the BIA will I say we take into consideration their human rights. You should know their cultures. You should know their norms. You should know their values. What is our name when you nasia? Ebema abwa ama what you might then wabo. So you also reduce this kind. I think say, in fact, ma young who say a binder de trim, any a bind for abano. They are all putting in a lot to ensure say these things are done.
There's a peace council already.
Oh no, I mean peace council. This council is doing a lot of work. Now, I won't say I'm on tamba bontim mechanic, but I see and I'm almost pajama because sometimes I say omokasa. Now I'm for soon no munya confidence. They are doing a lot of work, and I was part of that training. I mean, we train a number of them,
Okay, number of them. As a IGP, DSO call patch out because so we are sorry. In the duty, you may be a TOB9, so Monfanche and yeah, so I'm point here to deal with it. Well, Yanko, the next issue which has to do with Reverend Tim Fojo, and the minority in general, Omunsen some over two started from the fact Reverend Tim Fojo edited just the any minority. It was a press conference. It was a news conference to be specific. So, some suspicious flight, airmed and on board number no, and a havoc. Now, bedi days be on my way, more nim your way, almost suspect to say, de cocaine, any sika, any bewura or my money, a friend of money laundering, you know, and abanshe now or investigating. Then I didn't send some bad tree, koba. This week, NIB. Ebora Reverend Tim Fojo face and come kwakofano. Then I didn't send bebre diaba. Yan kon show video where Reverend Tim Fojo and minority ni bi can say about this particular development yaba e be de hu komo.
Penifo atwotwo rubia otimi ko piem ho bie eye dom kumando ba do deni omrahye bejefe Alexander Afenyo Markin twetwofo penidima MPP amanyoku Justin Frimpong Kodua ena fe dom frefo de ma MPP amanyoku Henry Nanabuachi kasamafo ya odema amanyoku no Richard Ahiagba ene mrahye bejafo ahodo edeji itwi ekọ hono mu a wonom kwakwatae mrahye bejeni ogina hodema omanfo wo asen South abatom pesua so John Tim Fojo wa bra manfo bia osusu se wo Free National Investigation Bureau NIB ekọ hono mu se wonom kwakwache no na ensem a ekoso efa emed wiemhyen bi ebegina omahimu a enu nti wo kire se etwetwe aso no onfa eho adanse mra enu mu ena tonkuma no ba no dani Alexander Afenyo Markin editu dwase
Ghana has been in this exercise for years and we don't need what we've experienced this morning. The caucus expressed a view through its authorized member, Mr. Tim Fojo, a reverend minister and a politician. If government disagree with views expressed, government can also tell a side of the story. This is democracy.
Twetwofo penidima MPP amanyoku no Justin Frimpong Kodua enso candidate so said
we are a country governed by a rule of law, not the rule of men. And as a member of parliament, at least our constitution, parliament standard orders talks about the processes or the procedure by which a member of parliament can be invited. The first question we want to ask the current administration is, was that process followed?
No way. No.
Was that process followed?
No.
Then ensama course where Reverend Tim Fojo fi Reverend I be before no call her some kofano na before I move on in fact comment kakra about so Facebook and fanfio Piaga say good morning and Nana Poko says good Dominic and okay Diana Cancer says good morning but Master Planner Junior working Tampo say until we stop doing politics with this Boko issue the fight will never stop. Imagine okay. And no yeah the same question now man now comment na yeah bo remnant me jano na makweni. Let me start with you lawyer Kwesi Botwe. I mean the NIB no some invite no margin no munsem. I don't know why is it so difficult. So I say NIB to me.
Me that's it. Let me say cocaine allegations and money laundering allegations, they're very serious allegations. I will say Ghana and India are interested in matters now. You see, the first point is that Honorable Tim Fojo press conference no year, he was speaking on the behalf of minority caucus ninia. Na nyo no ankasa na sem bi no pena oka. No kasama the caucus. into expressing the views of the caucus. Now, in the press conference, you know, raise issues me and first one year, somewhere in January, national security for a year read be was happen man almost discover gold, fake gold, ne fake dollars, fake CDs, near the idea and war containers, over 20 containers. First thing occurring is investigations na kusi saying. Yet one allergy na allergy ben prosecution ashasi na investigators there no more yafa ho. Number 2, enche bia na in fact President Mahama in a statement 1st April acknowledge Reverend Tim Fojo allegations na say government are making some high profile bust of cocaine with a street value of $350 million. International no bisa question say high profile bust who was in possession of cocaine 1 year china na no kuta cocaine no then attorney general fa prosecution ashase na because he him say mbrem no chi obi 48 hours or the never court I initiated the prosecution processes into no bisa say prosecution akwa kusi say because we have an attorney general so your investigation ko timi press conference ebe bo or minor amane and I say ebe update nation say your prosecution assume say ni DSC. So the minority they were asking questions. Say, "Akwa kusi cocaine." And the third one is 2 flights here aboard the air cargo air media.
Air med flight N823 AM.
Absolutely.
Yeah, any Kavok S Antonov AN112.
Good. Me crowd me consent to you about air med no.
Yeah.
Say air media ye can one say me. Say we must share ambulance. A for patient and I say obi emergency here emergency kidney bi or baby or see a transported from one country to the other med need to me say humanity otherwise na private jet but private jet we nya luxurious private jet ambulance private jet so yem bisa ye say why na a high sa med here a free Spain Gran Canaria Ghana and the reason why Reverend Tim for the minority caucus make this allegation is Gran Canaria obi enim de koso ho obi enim say Peru, Colombia, Brazil for any use on as a hub for more illicit trade. It's a notorious fact say our country need there say no man na ekoso ho. It is a flight if we say Kronos wa ba Ghana. Na say our flight ne ba Ghana na ba be di 5 days and say na air ko back. Reasonably no to raise suspicions. Say na Kroa ye say duboni dwedie koso a aba flight through Aba Ghana. Yes, obi anim say Ghana ha a third world country. Obi ani wa minjin di say o Spain or yare. Obeka say emfa ni free Spain medical on Spain medical facilities name Ghana medical facilities and or painting or high private jet say emfa ni free Spain embeje medical care or Ghana. I don't think say anybody will do that because Ghana, like I said, it's a third world country. I feel na yenso ye mu pejana ye mu yedru. Intino minority need be say a question says I met flight who was on board that flight and say any patient and na dema any flight and then they buy because obi anim say drug cartels they are very smart in doing some of these things. Nobody is accusing say minority didn't accuse say government the eduboni bia ba na government is involved in money laundering minority for nankasa and I'm sure say because minority for nankasa and President Mahama is in his own wisdom can say the matter should be investigated and that Reverend should collaborate with security agencies. In the answer. In fact, I did see Anna, you had a government spokesperson, Becca say, I was say, your pamo issues now, Reverend Tim Fojo, raising, and yet, papa, useless, bogus, idea about being in German government, cry, and we still or more time, was allegations now. Intin, I think says, I'm now. Honorable Felix Ofosu Kwachebe kind any escalating issues. Some video no here in my opinion was not needed. Any escalating issues. But you see, if we are zooming into this matter and if government is interested in fighting or bringing finality to this matter, the first step a government be taking is anka airport CEO nankiebe pamono. Because no here the custodian of Ghana airport. In fact, President Mahama issued the statement and I said you posted on social media on 1st April. 2nd April, Penny Pamo, the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority boss. And Ghana Civil Aviation Authority for no. On my appointment, a technical appointment. In fact, me check here, and this is the first time I Pamo the managing director or the CEO or the director general of the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, because more appointment is done in accordance with IATA laws. That's the International Air Transport, regulations and laws. It's a technical appointment to regulate the airspace and a political appointment. But issue never any pamono. Presumably, I don't know why a pamono, because statement a pamono reasons in count. But presumably, because the president is interested, say you be investigating as a airport so. Until maybe a Tranchenka crani but if you sack the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority boss and you leave the airport boss, it raises some suspicion. Say, are the airport custodian, is she covering something? What does she know in TIMPC? And it is more suspicious if the panel was even appointed by the previous government. The panel was appointed by the previous government. Okay. The most.
So, I have to hold your thought. Yankonkushe eye mula na yensho mo movie ne yen yekoba yebeto aso ha se pacho. All right, memo akwa ba biom fambra Nnawotwe Yi so na menka obiom se enne yebo 3 p.m. pe on okay, ma menhwa de okay, let's see ma menhwa de bia na yeah, and yebo 3 p.m. there is a game bekoso between Accra Lions and Basake Holy Stars. Why they been winning it? The Ghana Premier League match Baso live on Adom TV. We say na ye kondo say be share games ni bi, but obisa won say ehin na obenya na hwe ene anu ye aba say na obenya no ahwe on Adom TV. Or say ye both 3 p.m. pe ene for video no to her na hwe Accra Lions versus Basake Holy Stars. Ochina 3 p.m. on so 13th April, Vision FC versus Accra Hearts of Oak, and also Baso on air Adom TV. Adom, dabe na worry asante kotokode, but your umamuna we had to focus na deba but they share asante kotoko. Anyway, right. I'm Mekosono. Mohammed Ibrahim Al Hassan on Facebook say good morning, Adom TV. I'm watching this video as part of the week, another weekend, Saturday morning. I wish you all the best regards. I wish you all the best regards. Keep the fire burning and rocking and better healthy style, prosperous, long journey. Okay, all right there. You remember, lawyer, I want to know what Florence make trials work.
All right, I said I'm very serious. Very, very serious.
I want a better drink. I
say, if I buy way, the commitment to investigate this matter. I buy way no pepan say allegations here minority na you know. Omobedo mo isuko ama no kre e wo me pia ba. First action I was about and come taking say omopamo Ghana Airport CEO no, because I know the custodian of the airport. Bibia air bar or mining through a wiem, and I say if you are mining go through a wiem biano or no minor agine di edition and sa. But
why must we sack Obi when we are conducting investigations?
Because the people may even compromise the investigation.
How?
Of course, because we share even conflicting statement. A free Reverend Tim Fojo is saying one thing. Honorable Felix is also saying the other thing. Let's not forget, Honorable Felix in seminar can or the different flight numbers scrub to later and he got exposed linear. Honorable Felix doesn't work at Ghana Airport too. You brief away when you from Ghana Airport for no debate to ja. Into the if say Honorable Felix we are saying say a intro about in seminar na say a pedal in seminar no crowd then a brief away from airport hono. When you yet Ghana he na say ship be the Nduboni biaba through the porter when they be holding a responsible. Is it not the Director General for Ghana Port and Harbours Authority? And they say in the same vein, no, you say flight be the suspected Nduboni money laundering sika biaba. Who should we hold responsible? It is the CEO for the Ghana Airport. How? That's what I'm saying, sir.
It should rather be the Civil Aviation Authority, airport company.
No, the Civil Aviation providers. No, exactly. So, so the Civil Aviation Authority is the regulator of Ghana Airport Company. Yeah. And the regulator has been sacked. Now, no, you share the day-to-day activities of flight management. Why is the person still there? You see, there is no excuse to make up for why the woman has not been sacked. And it only exposes that maybe the government doesn't have the commitment to look into these matters. The government lacks the commitment to look into these matters because Asema Yekano, a very serious matter. Ghana international reputation is at stake. The reputation of the nation is at stake. I was say about anything not you go into the details of the matter. But in Sembi say now people who are responsible, or people who are they of minor confidence. Yeah, I have a statement here. Airport MD no a issue here. Say other President Mahama say we repose confidence in her. Yeah, confidence here. They are show money. No, not saying same way here. You should be held accountable. Me, my point is that yet your my way mo. Na see the institutions are shank for answer. No problem about what our institutions now. We should hold those people accountable and make the institutions work. And once you hear say asema by a car 2 weeks, 3 weeks, now die, nobody head to no roll. Will be able to when nothing will happen. We cannot build a nation like that. And you see, there's the attempt, say, security agencies, state-sponsored security agencies will gag persons in the opposition if you maybe you have the likes of a Binima Kase, Reverend Team for or Kasa 15 evidence and but even in law there's something called circumstantial evidence. Even in a Kamemu cry, say, what cast them now near dance, ought to be cast them who be at the yard dance here, and I'm boy. Intino, a 70 who be now ye tried the yard dance and Namidi Kasa. Flight nearby, you know, patient Bennett in a buy. The airport should be able to tell us, say, flight nearby on so and so date, and I say, Ahmed beyond by. Now, Ahmed in the buy, and the patient so and so in a buy. Ghana airport, I say more can say, you cry Reverend Team for your name, you share that. A Reverend Team for your crime and bon como. Nobody is saying, say, Ghana airport, any Reverend Team for your video about the 12
on Antonov, for example, no more year.
Oh, but
more checks. But
before I even come there, no, on their statement, no more say we don't know Reverend Team for Joy. Nobody has accused Ghana airport say or leak information, or more leak information, my Reverend Team for Joy. But from their statement, it presumes say in times past now, before President Krabi took and President Kufuor Krabi took and who flight or their call. Before President Kufuor Krabi took and who the flight itinerary, and then no crowd border on the security of the state too. Yenya first gentleman. Obetukwanya even a day before it me post say President Obetukwanya 1 o'clock or the flight say in airport or Ninipa 18 in airport say is it because at that time no obi leak information Emma nipa kura na no the president information ni to Ghana na entina say nipa nene aban asesa no o protecting no person exonerating no from insem na course ni also no leak information mo bi ai. That is not what we are talking about.
All right, yeah.
What I'm saying is that this government must set up a bipartisan parliamentary committee or must set up a commission of inquiry to investigate allegations now minority through Reverend Team for Jodia Tujan.
Okay.
This government must not attempt to gage element of the opposition from speaking out. This government must not attempt say say menka and I say men yesi. The president himself has taken interest in this matter.
Okay.
And so the subordinates of the president must allow the investigations to go on. Now, at the end of the day, no, the situation, finally, just 10 seconds. Finally.
Honorable Daniel Kwesi Honorable, the House before. The minority invoking the parliamentary immunity, to prevent the NIB from doing what they have to do. What is saying?
Yo, Medawasi. Near costing politics.
Hey.
Politics. Politics.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Hey.
No, why did I say so?
Okay.
Team Fojo is a ranking member for what?
Defense and Interior Committee of Parliament.
That's right. Until share Nepal or more parliament out of 200. Okay, you have say 88 minority MPs. No. Yes, Kojina committee be on behalf of the what? Minority. And for that matter, for the parliament. And our information. Where do you send the information? How do you handle the information? Because you swear oath of secrecy. You get me right? You swear off. Obi or call them off. You swear off. President, I swear off. That is why sometimes there are some things we MPs will know, but for the sake of the security of the state, we don't have to tell the public. And now when information, we acquire press conference. Even Whistleblowers Act, is that what they say? On one case, Whistleblowers Act. We have information there where they have positioned you and where they have put you. You have oversight responsibility on all the security agencies in this country. Is that the way you do it? Did they not pay? You can't doing politics. Because it means you want to tell the whole world he doesn't know his job. He doesn't. Senkonimine Juma. These things, you must jot them out. Nobody says you should come out. But a bedroom pen, so be here, you have the right to go out. But on your intel, obi na di intel be amount. Me phone no we. And obi di intel investigation be na personally. We the men can't committee investigation be na waye. Say your mouth di bia. Ranking deputy ranking of a committee of interior. Ye unya intel. 1-2-1 na mo bia and one say wa comfortable no your press conference. On one case wa catch say wa personally through the security agencies, NIB, police ID. You are free to go there. And I'm over not. Airport to cry here can one say wako. You can do it personally because that is the position. So is that the way you have to lead your caucus in a goose chase and the whole nation? Now, sorry, we will say, how
is it a goose chase when they say, I mean, I'm quoting you, say, in the statement further raised concerns about Kavok X Antonov, blah, blah, which landed on 12 March and remained in Ghana for 13 days before departing on the same day as the Air Med flight. Also, the minority described the coincidence as intriguing and called for a full disclosure of the cargo transported. Quote, in our collective quest to combat drug trafficking and money laundering, transparency must be upheld. We urge national security to provide details of the cargo brought into and taken out of the country by these two aircraft. And again, Omukol way followed the intersection of some $350 million worth of cocaine at Cape Coast. By the National Investigation Bureau.
Intel. Or any press conference, also intelligence. What is the intelligence? Say aeroplane, they are 12 free. Canary, Eba.
And for patient number.
No. Okay. I know that okay, we can. So be the catcher who we feel aeroplane, they are free. Baby, I'm not cocoa, and you're basically hancho the cocoa. We don't do politics. Okay. These are the issues. Because as some look who started, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama have shown the goodwill. Say, oh, yenya Honorable Reverend Intim Fodjo. Say, onya ana or intelligence be. Say, aeroplane yenu be. Intinu onya de. CID4, NIB4, anyway, mum collaborate with him. Wankasa yenchinu. Yeah. Mum collaborate na yehu asem ni tofa. Has he? Has he? One can say yenchino. So what he's doing, is it in the interest of the nation? Nobody says you should not talk. But you are occupying a seat. You are occupying a seat. That seat is so powerful. Sana unya information or that borders on that seat. Then unya for people say, who Fred journalist for say who. He's doing politics. And no wonder. All them people before oh, you will not stand alone. You will be with you. They are doing politics. Up to now. You knew what that. So information there. Look, even the NIB don't have to go there. You can even call the National Security Coordinator to come. No, and you must oblige.
But will it be a bear at the 1-1? If national security are calling for maybe the CCTV footages of the airport within that period to really understand what happened, a bedding.
Minya.
information ben na national security be calling for CCTV. You must go enjoy with them.
And so be that to just here.
No. As a saying acting like a fiewura.
Okay.
As a saying acting like papa. Who you papa? Who on koda? As a so show musubai. Akoda be su. And away abumi. And no say unkoda me no mumbra. Second child no buy no. Or see papa, ubanu na edi ka to me twade na me so me bono. But said the papa no am bisanos that questioner. And now ni ba super I didn't know abumi ba e manu so na papa. Ubeda ni penyi kwasia. That is what we are seeing here. Because I didn't win in a band. Collaborate. One collaborate. Or see the end of the catcher. He said he was doing that on behalf of the caucus. Do you get it right? And then we or say no cry. And then we should pass it through speaker. That is it. And we the government spokesperson Ofosukwachi back out. Because public would like to know what is actually happening. Ofosukwachi Bekani Dienu we are. You say it's not credible. And I will solve my problem. Why won't you? No, why won't you in the first place? Why won't you in the first place contact these institutions? If it's a committee chairman, which is automatically an NDC person and the majority, so you have the right to contact these people because you have that power. Me, Honorable Reverend Tim Fojo, ranking member of what? Interior and what?
Defense
and interior. They will respond. Did you do that? One, yes, sir. Into politics, no, yeah. Because you are occupying a position that is to help shape the governance of this country. They gave you that respect. So you saw what happens. One call, we see first speaker. So now make us say, look, the national security acon without the release letter from the speaker, no, I will not agree with them. We want to teach MPP what rule of law means. Yeah, you mugabugadi your maya dream.
Now, say some confused.
Say, none mu confused because he asked for a release, and I know that. Say, MPD. Bibi Batanse on meeting security agencies. You write it through speaker. The speaker will inform your caucus chairman or leadership.
Yeah.
Then they will release you. They've released me before.
Okay.
So they will release you. That release letter say enye nuna NIB and national security anyway any call there. I will ask that we should do the right thing.
So once the leaders bow defense, and
Namika say, I will ask, but the good things you say,
yeah.
One of MPs, they don't know what happens there that day.
Okay.
But say, you realize that Afenyo Banking apologized to the national security to calm down. And then later, no, now so we are with you. No Koti Bible. But you listen to his first word, you say, oh, we will collaborate or cooperate, sorry.
Yeah.
We will cooperate to the national security. We do, why this one, Jojo? And Echina, Echifojoba, hey, no, we cannot do anything. You know, who shall video? I don't know, so I jump out by and my happiness was that the national security have listened to minority leader. Do you get it right? They gave him that respect. That was what gladdens my heart. That we made that record say, where the other parties, minority, any MPP for buy, but let me promise you, say next speaker ba and on releasing now. MPP for 10 million of your cry. So one quart, they will take him away.
If the speaker
have released him.
Yeah.
Do you get to that?
Yeah.
Have intinu money young people say your 100 tina national security no Africa. Ebia Omar so maybe you don't have the letter so. And now the respect they've given to the minority leader, oh come on, let's see. And now one can respect a man as a member of parliament, We want to go by the rule of law. Because go and ask Nilante van der Poel, 7th December 2020, as a sitting member of parliament, go and ask Osu Xavier, Sunday Yokochinu was sorry demo. Go and ask Chikata, Yechinu Sunday was sorry. We want to teach MPP what is rule of law. That is what gladdens my heart.
Mate, me da say, Mamemfa Dr. Educhum Embremi Doc, near question in our office, a quite ben I will see it to me the first to arrive at the conclusion that you're going to design this country.
But I say, I'm saying, Nanko said, Metin Finfina, me team we, but honorable Dinka, I say, when you know politics. But for me, there are two things as an ordinary citizen. BBI, me BBI, no me de etuto insenye na me de bomb brand as me de nante. One is the public interest in Miankasakra Mejuma Media Meye, and then the national interest. These two things, no, and air binding and like a holding in terms of ins and outs and everything in terms of governance, the democracy and order. But most importantly, say by the first security, the national interest overrides the public interest.
Okay.
Until you treat situations, no, in context. As and when until one can now fra, but we say now we're dealing with the issues. Will be some from my professional point of view, any beer Ghana Genasi idea. And Kamaka say, Minua in team Fodro, Anka SSA, or use that covert processes, no. Now, or they arrive with whatever conclusions are, or per se, unyano. But you see, the moment obedi asemno ebeba to jasenia omodia to jano. A movie from one kasa krawo original good intentions na wono na ba be political chess. Security wise, it would have been appropriate for me, and this is my personal reason. Say and can second information no. On one kasa ne part, obetimi take some steps to verify, go through and see some of the issues. So, what's that? They are not on and one I'm say they are calling for. This is one that they are calling for. And which you know,
but
maybe some say.
Let me ask you, how is this different from, for example, the Sape man containers of Muhunya? The only information we were told was that the ringleader is known as Al-Haji.
One was that this is near me. Now, see, politicians are so strategic, and you cannot finish studying them.
Because we ourselves have not finished studying ourselves.
Exactly. In communication, we have what we call framing theory.
Okay.
That is one of the key things they use. So there's a social construct. They construct the thing and create meanings for what it is and for us to follow. And that is what they've been doing all these years. Until a time where, as I say, beyond the partisan politics, you know, national interest, you know, and no anything. And I'm happy say, lawyer, I can say, or mine any munyam. And no, and I say, yan shena ye science semunya de ni ensum ye a ema o mine say any munyam na e international community in the essay. If you say about organized crime and a transnational organized crime, you say Ghana corridors, no, it is one of the ways we use in transporting a lot of these indrubone about weapons in your these are known facts. Inti ye say ebesiano. Inti say BBC be PM1. And Kamina me ranking member now. I'll quickly call my friends committee chair. And now say me din can call committee chair on mokra. I will find the other ways to find out, say, what is the potency of this information here? Na me do one na me share the assembly kuta me say no. Na me way say whether I want to even inform my minority leader and now say me inform me chairman. That one you can then make decision out of that. My point is that you share the national interest first. na ye di san komono dia ehia se ebia ye ma amanfo so te no because o say amanfo no so te no so mo di bia den ebo omobra and into na make public interest into that issues are ebetodwa ebi won ma quickly no you have to let the public know ebi so ebedu a wo hwe in some sense yet no na wa home so kakra na wonya abotre no wo kwan obefa so kra wo be communicate to the people because one anya sa no you bring a lot of anxiety into the system, a lot of panic and all those kind of things. In some no sana me feel say I would have always said Reverend should have used that processes and then later even Krampon Kobetimi in such a way say even though or a ranking on the ranking member, I'm sure the deputy ranking, right? Yeah. Or you could even also give that information even to lawyer. I mean, lawyer is a very good communicator. Listening to him, and I've been listening, following him as well. You can give the information to Onunso, or you're credible. So Onunso bet me the information or the bar. Then later we can now all jump in and do. But you see, matters of security, no. And then you have to security in some number. But right now we have been able to like someone man obia etiasen kakraba. But matters of this nature, no. Sometimes, as I say, yenya abutre na share the overriding benefit, which is the national interest in our influence officer. If not, we will not really.
Let me just give you a minute on that.
I think the Honorable Kansembia, I do not agree with Honorable respectfully and humbly. Honorable Kase, because MPs were the oath of secrecy in Tino. I was anchor Reverend in Team for your exercises some discretion. I don't know if I'm right in putting out the information. You see, Parliament in a committee back and attested to the oath of secrecy. It is the Intelligence and Security and Intelligence Committee, which is a new committee and new standard orders of the 9th Parliament and by MPs in general do not take the oath of secrecy. Two oaths no take the oath of allegiance and the parliamentary oath. So Reverend Intim Fojo is not under the oath of secrecy. Oshaye Oath Act na NRCD 6 na it is clear on that 1972. It is very clear on that. Oshaye second schedule na. Into Reverend Intim Fojo and swear oath of secrecy be say onya information na obe consider information na and I say sa oath of secrecy no no in his official capacity say untimi information na embeto abonten. Okay. Into Reverend Intim Fojo enye boni bia he hasn't breached any law say information no nyaye no or the beto abonten. In fact, that is as a member of parliament, you know. Engineer press conference they can hold within the presence of parliament. One me Adom TV na hold the press conference no. Okay. Mate. And then there he's and again. I
need to go to
another before the security. Quick one. Before the security personnel went to his house to effect the arrest or whatsoever, they should have followed due process. And what's come warrant way. But let them come and speak away. Have you seen the warrant?
I haven't seen it.
Right. So we cannot say no. I have not seen it. And so presumably we cannot say that they have a warrant. Have you seen the warrant? No. I have also not seen the warrant, and so presumably we cannot say that they had a warrant. Okay. But we can say that they do not have a warrant or they didn't have a warrant until they should have followed due process before going there. Okay. But the attempt you beg Gagi Reverend Team Fojo and the minority cannot hold water. It will not stand. And we will stand with Reverend Team Fojo today, tomorrow if he brings any allegation again, MPP will stand by him. Tomorrow next we will stand by him.
A minute on this one.
As a ranking member, anybody who goes to parliament, you swear oath.
Okay.
That is what I mean. Meaning you have been elevated among the people of Ghana to a certain level where you took a responsibility to protect the nation.
But not an oath of secrecy.
That parliamentary oath, that is it.
Okay. No, oath of secrecy is different from parliamentary oath. The second schedule is clear. I can read for Honorable if you want me to read. This is NRC.
Okay, that aside. What I'm saying is that as a ranking member of parliament, you take the oath of, as a ranking member, what do you do? Whilst you have the oversight responsibility of all the security institutions in this country.
Okay.
So don't just dwell on the oath. As a the responsibility you have as a ranking member,
okay. Yo, Mate, Medase. Now, Interior Minister Subetu just said foreign you know, foreigners involved in illegal mining, no, they are on the deport you know, commonly referred to as galamsey, no, they are those foreign nationals or no, they on mine, so necessary intervention to curb the escalating menace. Well, but just we have some 10 minutes. Let me share it amongst you. Let me start with you this time. I'll give you 2 minutes on it. Yeah.
Okay. Me kind of ma minion mummy no
position for mommy.
Because one say
you know the
and I'm CEO of Total Industries and Company Limited. Now, for my dream, no, as I say, for once, yeah, back. Na ye share adiwe dia edienya.
Okay. All right.
UNDP say by 2030 one share in sukra ye benom no. Ebeden e dey amom. Nyamisha.
Okay. And mama started for honorable. The second topic is starting for honorable. We want 2 minutes on it. Is it 2 minutes?
Okay.
On this one. Is it necessary we keep on to that particular point?
So me dey be on 2 minutes.
Involved in Galamsey. Near the common man. Now Ghana afford the head you want to prison.
Oh, me assemblyman, I assemble quite a high or community to say. I was a ucho video on Ramage. So I'm back. You kunu. Now, because the nipa number or pen number as a man of the annual. I guess as a man of the annual. Now, so whoever in Jesus, I don't know the Sikabas of Baby Ginidra. What's I some? Okay. You see, we criticized. I was part of the people who criticized. Why do we allow Chinese to be deported and why didn't we try them there? But from that time till today, the diplomatic relations has changed between Ghana and China. Ekoye say, during that time, you see opportunity, but Busia won chance. They say Busia no there. Who share the whole world that China and Abo Busian so much. I am not saying because of that. Nipa ye di deport your mususu. Who share the alalasula la for. Me here say obiti say Ashanwana or die jail. Those kingpins who are mudisikaba say yembe say quiet no. We need to imprison them.
That's we were I say foreigners. Oh,
even Ghana, yen yanuma omuko hono. The young ones no. One say omuchi bi mo say one yas one dia yencho. And I will not allow say even Ghanaians, young guys are omuko say and rancheni baba yencho omuntumo. The government must do the right thing. And nothing that make us say in there, some people focus say NDC phone kwa na ye galamse message majetum. Because we have the power today. We have to stop the galamsey. And I think the Minister of
Lands and Natural Resources,
Oye Juma, because his strategy now is bottom-up approach, where if you want the license, you must go to the district. Na ahimfo enwoho, na MC enwoho, assembly of bien enwoho, because they've given you the responsibility to protect the water and other things. Okay. In the deportation, no dear. Because na anu ni ye ka say in kan yen tra mo ha ba wo chobi dwan hye wo dem a ade che someone with that who does come the usa
mate yeah
and an so excuse me so ni say ya ti say ni mi kan on social media corrector omudi omuko ho China fo ankasa e tra mo they send them to court and obinim kura present kan yen tra mo China for omu present yen tra mo because they know the harsher punishment over there.
Okay, all right, you Mate. Where's what
me that's it. I think say sir statement say my yen try foreign nationals or more galamsey or Ghana an unfortunate statement.
So I see you need enough cells to
hold for an unfortunate statement. When NDC were in opposition Osafuma Fukase Aisha one yen deported press conference ben okuje to a black one the likes anya Ghana. Almost omunti bida. Adena was he deported Aisha one. Or Aisha one ye trying waha near daily no because deportation is a free ride home. Until Aisha one is a government, you know, any sumasi bia and no fan court na attorney general and prosecuting. That was what NDC for capturing. Internet then assessor. Until say a better Chinese for now. You be investigate or to see say or me campaigns and no money campaigns. We cannot determine so me campaigns and also me a common floor Chinese galamseyers. Enti na wose arrest you, you investigate you, you initiate prosecution. Sometimes during the prosecution, kura no, who cross-examine witness no kura na obehu say or your camping and say on your camping. Enti no, on the face of the arrest, we cannot determine say assume see a camping and on your camping. Enti na I feel say government departure from initial position. It's unfortunate. But you see the entire Galamsey issue, I agree with Doc saying we need a national approach, but that is what we've been saying since 2017. President Akufo-Addo cast in the presidency at on the line. Say MPP4 say we need a national approach, but if you on the other side of one position, I'm say no. MPP4 na moya Galamsey no. Accomplices and appointees of President Akufo-Addo and the catch them say there be Galamsey na so for ka lawyers ka ho, pastors ka ho, imams ka ho, chiefs ka ho, a whole complex situation. Uko communities na yetu Galamsey na ankenye won say enyinem he ya ukokuma say a daylight yetu Galamsey so be antimi nya hwe wo ho. You see very complex but Galamsey dey ka ho asem no. Me I would say it's a leadership problem. The president has the ultimate responsibility to solve Galamsey.
Okay.
Me 2 minutes next year. Oh, there be 2 minutes next year. Oh, 1 minute 24 seconds.
21170 030221170. Fred, yemfa was wagging chair. 030221170. 2 no betum so and 3 na yemfa on ye no ndingo ofra na wadrum the volume on your television tie ho on your phone na fi kawasem na manenye teto nwenka o se enne area yebo 3 p.m. pe ye ba be Ghana Premier League match ewo Adom TV so bomodin na shebi enne match no between Accra Lions and Basake Holy Stars Basake de omo free Miami Chrome ho enti ye de dike nene baba wura Accra Lions baba ma ya ba chichi pa be wura be pale baba ma ya na ho ye no and then ochna 3 p.m. Vision FC and Heart of Folk ebebo me de Mosha Heart and family ho
I don't know about this.
Oh, there's steady behind him. Yeah, Heart of Folk and come ma munchire me da kotoko bebo na ye show Adom TV so obet me afre na yeso ya fa
o de kotoko bebo ye kotoko en family.
Hello friends, good morning.
Yeah, morning. I put here day.
Mami tell why.
Master mo contribution ye be say ye ba mo kakra.
Mami tell.
The be say you can say Bibian sisan wa Ghana ha now because say Emra Akufo-Addo also no Okujato, Samijemfi, Sam George, Omo, Emla Manfo to Galamutu Galamsey. Or see Akufo-Addo, and no to Galamsey, no one man for no Mutu Galamsey. The feature crowd Mutu Galamsey. Nadia Nasa, that with Mama, and our contracted China for no, and no Mutu Galamsey.
Yeah.
That is Mama, or a part of the channel, and no Mutu Galamsey, because.
Mate, Kwaku Francis, Kwaku, good morning.
Good morning.
Mami Joy, Kwaku.
I'm Adom here. Hello.
Kwaku, Mami Joy.
I am the Gamsin and I'm a person who come back. In fact, NDC and when you are at the other side in Yamma Kaina, the Omoja Yanase, Omoba, no more approach near. In fact, it's unfortunate. So, which foreigner, the word deport no my Jessica. Yet the develop your mind. So, man, to charge the young to the penetration. So, begin to get at least local prison minimum of this year. Now, which I was in the deport no other chill my Ghana baby. That would not fair. In fact, just say NDC MPP all the same. Papa Biana and Nimu. The Omoja careful show. But I see.
Obama, good morning. Mami Joy. Obama,
hello.
Good morning.
Good morning, brother. Nyamia sumyenka mu nyina e wo studio.
Yo, man you.
E ba so Obama ni me so ma osumu se da bodi no. Ye di kan mamembo impendifo no aba so e wo studio. Na mo ni in Samuel in the first place na ye Ghana for na mo me ye e friends e timemu foforo. Ye me ka ko ti say over in team photo e reverend e di insem e beto abontin. Ene ye twene sre ene abasa say agentina onya information wa ko national security for into one among na all the better abonti ene ye the rambo and a commando and the tata no e ko kire no ye be se obianya information na se e friend se obele secret no the better abonti se mamuni no be dey wo say we and the post e wo man me fa no to no hwe galante issue me na epipin really concern bi se sia say odu osino aya before I bet bridge now over kono ye yen ya guarantee the aye insun ewo wo me kwa police station ultra police station pe na ko guarantee site then am ya fa hu ye
Mate Obama meda say so for mama of refi do me so mama be ntie we
yo bidia be ma no pe de me fenchi mo den ma honorable proposals no MP na me nche jombu adu na me nche na ko me taba ko na minwe no mboko for mama yesi afem papa edenya na esi ho no munsia cheze buchina chenja na se se wa na mfo ni sika me mputu nyuma ho na mubufo mu tweja to na mu da so ebe ne so na ye no do region na yesi afem na era ho ebe de ye to putu e de ama yekuru na se mo yesi ya ete nfu anasi ebe strenya no mo bunya botre no muntwa so na mputu oni yedi ntimi embre yempotem honom na esi kaga na ho na de mu ye no efo di amfa mre kunu efo mputu bi amfa mre kunu
yo mate so mama ye da say akismi bia boko mama jewe
abakwajo nyame adu bia boko nyame sira na adwuma Obama Ghana man nga kete hwe pa for ya show na abakwajo eba galante nsenseme pa dia nipa na mebbo na bafuma wiase nyina hu eme wiase nyina atene nkan ye hwe pa oba ahema na brand new obabesia ba wa yira ta so say ono de o magalam say e man peso aso a me kese o present a wo de na ho de ne yansa e ku bia de oguso a okọ etie mu bia yamfo aso de de kan na hima a o te be kwa na brand new to so mi yakopọ nsira o say wo ko age wo man ene usuo si ho nti what not for nyina say na hima ye da na se galam say we de o say on preso on so
Mate yo akismi de o de by no Prince o ya me final call am tell. Hello, Prince.
Hello. Yeah, good morning. No. Mpacho me.
Mpacho ye we me nteo.
E de nyame ase mpacho wo hu bokun tokwa no say asa solid ma. Ghana ha won ase anhwa kansem yi a enyoma be ha ye. Because Mahama tam wo de boko ntokwa no e campaign. So betina so pe obo solve no this short time. E de asa sorry. Wo hu de sorry.
All right.
Bibia near the politics. Bibia near the politics. Also, by no, Omakwashi, Omo minister no done.
Okay. All right. Yo, Medase. Now, Niaji say you did a telecast of Ghana Premier League matches from various stadia on weekdays and weekends at the Brown Adom TV. You see, Nunti, yen to me, emfa of favorite tree novella. And then you're not enfambro, yes, and a year coffee ball into Mumfanche. Why? Especially a man mo petri novella no, and no may football yen so. Now Saturday and Sunday, Biano, Kotoko Airborne, ye share Basake Holy Stars, ye bash ye bewura, you know, where more come about, okay, yes, Accra Lions, Bewura Benne. 3 p.m. into moment in I share Adom TV, Nabibiano, Enkoye, Enfam Maya, Kama, okay, your time na so enti meda mabedwa for ase honorable Daniel Kwesi Ashama, former MP for Buem, Kwesi Botwe, a private legal practitioner, member of the MPP's communication team, Dr. Sadiq Adutrim Fellow, West Africa Center for Counter Extremism. Kwesi Botwe also be there.
Honorable Mate J. Mensa Kosa and Nnawotwe.
Okay.
Techima South MP, former Minister for Local Government.
Okay.
I'm say maybe it will be a
senior okay. Madano Maziman Damaso. Yamia Dumia says Yadok, Yamazan Naye Kizri, and the name of the Kabbalah, you feel very proud of your identity near one and Daye Kizri, but from some work of your brace, Yamia Duma Saturday. Good morning.